Many New Zealanders added their voices and actions to the struggle against apartheid. Mr Mandela's passing is an opportunity to acknowledge those New Zealanders. They have proved to have been right. The conflict that occurred in New Zealand over sporting contacts with South Africa was, as those New Zealanders asserted at the time, about more than our right to watch sport. Nelson Mandela's passing will cast a long shadow, but his place in history is unassailable. We can honour his legacy by supporting South Africa to stay on Mr Mandela's path of forgiveness, freedom and prosperity.
I am privileged to rise on behalf of the New Zealand Labour Party to pay homage to the wisdom and achievements of one of the world's greatest leaders, certainly in my lifetime, Nelson Mandela. We pay our respects to a man who dedicated his life to fighting injustice. It is hard to imagine a more worthy recipient of the Nobel Prize, an honour which, as the Deputy Prime Minister has already said, was properly accorded him in 1993. Nelson Mandela's long walk to freedom included an incredible 27 years of imprisonment from 1963 to 1991. Only a giant could endure that and then, upon release, pursue justice and reconciliation rather than revenge.
If anything binds this country to Nelson Mandela and to his legacy, it is the work of the anti-apartheid movement. I know a number of members of this House took action to oppose apartheid, and literally hundreds of thousands of other New Zealanders did the same. We took that action in defiance of our government of the day, which tacitly supported and lent comfort to the apartheid regime. Very often we took that action in defiance of the law, believing that we served a greater good. And I'm proud of those actions, Mr. Speaker.
One of his greatest achievements was to set up the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where victims of the apartheid era could tell their stories and perpetrators of violence could tell theirs. Though controversial, the process was a crucial step toward healing South Africa's deepest wounds. His skill in managing the transition from apartheid without widespread violence, repression or economic collapse is an enormous legacy, which we hope lives on to build South Africa's economic and social peace and security into the future. That is the enormous challenge we seriously wish South Africa is able to meet going into the future.
He said in 1994, "Death is something inevitable. When a man has done what he considers to be his duty to his people and his country, he can rest in peace. I believe I have made that effort, and that is, therefore, why I will sleep for eternity." Koea te wāhi kia koe Nelson Mandela, e moe.
And as my colleague quoted that quotation before about Mandela's prescience of his own death, he will be able to rest contented and peacefully, that his long walk to freedom is over, his journey is done, his people are safe, his country on the road to prosperity and to progressivity in the future.